On the 16th of January, Reza Pahlavi delivered a defiant speech, issuing a 6-point call to action to the international community. Let us examine these 6 demands. First, protect the Iranian people by neutralizing the regime's capacity for repression, specifically targeting the leadership and command and control infrastructure of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. Second, exert maximum economic pressure by freezing the regime's global assets and dismantling its ghost fleet of illicit oil tankers. Third, disrupt the regime's ability to shut down the internet by providing unrestricted access, deploying Starlink and other secure communication services nationwide, and launching cyber operations to break the media blockade. Fourth, hold the regime accountable by expelling its diplomats from the capitals of the civilized world and taking legal action against those guilty of crimes against humanity. Fifth, demand the immediate release of all political prisoners. 6. Prepare for Iran's democratic transition by pledging to recognize a legitimate transitional government when the time is right. Choosing the 16th of January, the anniversary of the 1979 fall of the Pahlavi dynasty and his father's exile, gives this declaration profound symbolic weight. By explicitly naming the IRGC, Pahlavi is calling for more than just its designation as a terrorist organization. He is demanding precision strikes against its infrastructure to paralyze the regime's mobilization and efficiency in suppressing domestic protests. He also targeted the Ghost Fleet, the regime's primary tool for evading sanctions and generating foreign exchange through oil exports, seeking to sever its financial lifeline completely. Recognizing that internet blackouts are among the regime's most potent weapons, he urged Western nations to deploy Starlink on a massive scale, as was done in Ukraine, to provide Iranian protesters with uncensored communication. During the press conference, Pahlavi explicitly expressed his readiness to serve as a transitional leader, stating, "The Iranian people have called upon me to lead. I reaffirm my commitment. I will step forward to lead this movement to reclaim our country." He emphasized his unique position to ensure a stable transition to democracy, claiming that tens of thousands within the military, police, and even the IRGC have signaled their willingness to defect under his leadership. He reiterated that upon the regime's collapse, a transitional government would take over to hold a national referendum, allowing the Iranian people to choose between a republic or a constitutional monarchy. Pahlavi made a specific nod to US President Donald Trump, calling him a man of his word and expressing confidence that Trump's promise of aid on the way is no empty threat. He argued that US intervention does not require boots on the ground, but rather surgical strikes to cripple the regime's military and security apparatus. Regarding Trump's stance on Pahlavi, it can be described as keeping a public distance while maintaining high private utility, viewing him as the preferred surrogate for Iran's reconstruction. Trump's ultimate goal is the internal collapse of the current Iranian regime. Within this framework, Pahlavi is of irreplaceable value. Unlike other fractured opposition groups, he possesses historical legitimacy and high domestic name recognition. The Trump team views him as the only figure capable of unifying secularists, wavering military factions, and the diaspora. Since Trump wishes to avoid a large-scale ground war, Pahlavi's promise of internal uprisings, coupled with military defections, fits perfectly into Trump's low-cost strategy. For now, Trump's attitude remains, "I support your disruptive actions and recognize your potential, but I will not grant you a formal title yet." He is waiting to see if Pahlavi can translate this, the 16th of January declaration, into actual momentum on the streets of Iran. Meanwhile, momentum is building in Europe. Several members of the European Parliament have publicly invited Pahlavi to deliver an official address in Brussels. These lawmakers are calling on EU leaders such as President Roberta Metsola to meet with Pahlavi and recognize him as the legitimate leader of the Iranian opposition. The European Parliament has already banned diplomats from the current Iranian regime from entering its premises, a series of moves seen as paving the way for Pahlavi's arrival.